Hey, welcome back to Chatting with Ashley. Today we're going to talk about the metaphor packing your wagon. The history of this metaphor goes back to the time where in order to get from point A to point B, you had to load all of your belongings and everything that you might need for your trip into a hand cart and either push it or pull it to your location. Typically, we would see it like across the plains if they were trying to travel to the West Coast. And I want you to put yourself in the position of about to go on this trip. And so you're thinking through all of the things that you might need to have in your cart in order to have a successful trip across the plains. And as you're packing all of these things in your cart, someone comes to you and says, "Good news, don't worry. Halfway through your trip, you're going to meet someone, and that person's going to be able to provide everything that you need. So you only really have to pack up to a certain point. You just got to get yourself halfway. And then this other person will have everything that you need." And so you go, "Cool, that sounds great. I'm not going to pack everything that I might need because somebody else will be able to provide." And you go along, and halfway through, sure enough, you meet someone. And that person is doing their best to provide what you might need. But it turns out that what they have in their cart isn't exactly what you need. In fact, they left with the belief that halfway through they were going to meet someone that would be able to provide everything that they needed. And so their cart isn't fully filled either. And so you have two people with a cart that's mostly empty. There's not a lot to give. There's not a lot to even evaluate, let alone be able to evaluate, take my needs and give to more. It's just not there. It's just an empty cart. Imagine the feelings that you would have if you were in the middle of nowhere. You've just walked 60 miles, and the person that you thought was going to be able to provide you with food thought that you would provide them with food, and neither of you have anything to give. That would bring a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of disappointment in the other person. It's going to leave you in a place that's just, I'm going to go with unsafe, because who knows if you're going to be able to make it the rest of the way without the food that you need, right? Okay, rewind a little bit. And now you're packing your wagon and someone comes to you and says, halfway through, someone else will be able to provide. And you say, that might be true, but I'm going to make sure that I'm okay for the entire distance, because who knows what's going to happen with that other person. I need to be able to make sure that I'm okay. And so you assess what you're going to need, and you pack your wagon, and it's a fully packed wagon. And you set off on your journey, and sure enough, halfway through you meet someone, and that person has a fully packed wagon. You're both able to get the entire journey and be okay. So you decide to walk side by side together, and as you're walking, you begin to learn the other person's needs and wants. You begin to communicate your needs and wants and ask what the other person needs and wants. And as you're getting to know each other, you can develop a synergy where as you're serving them and they serve you, and everyone's needs and wants are being met in this situation. And then maybe there's a day where you're feeling just down. It's just a hard day. And so you're not able to pull and fulfill your part of the responsibilities. But this other person, because they're a full wagon, are able to take care of it. And it's okay. And they cover for you. And then when they have a down day, you're able to cover for them a little bit, because both of you have fully packed wagons. And you're able to get the whole way, take care of yourself, but also live in this beautifully interdependent way that allows you to be a full person and still allow someone in. So this is the beauty of interdependence. The first step to achieving this kind of relationship is to evaluate yourself and to see where you're at and to see what it is that you need. And you can just start right now. Right now is the beginning of your journey. And regardless of whether or not you're going to meet someone, or if you already have a partner in your life, regardless of whether or not they're packing their wagons, you can look at your life and say, what do I need to be successful finishing out my journey? It's starting now. And take a minute and look at those needs. Figure out what it is that you've got to put into your wagon and then start making one tiny little step toward that each day. To evaluate what you might need in your wagon, I would recommend looking at the basic self-cares. So emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, social, and financial. What things do you need in each of those areas in your wagon? And what can you put in place right now to start getting one of those needs met by yourself, taking care of that and making sure that you're okay? I want to know the answer, so drop me a comment about what your addition to your wagon today might be. And if you have any questions or comments, if there's something that you want me to talk about in a future episode, let me know. I would love to make sure that we're chatting about things that are important to you. So reach out with any ideas that you might have or something that you'd like to hear. And then as always, remember that you aren't crazy and you're not alone. See you next time.